YouTube, what is going on? It's Spooky Loops, and I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. Memento Moris. We've all been loading into a game with our bestest buds, only to be met with the killer offering that doesn't turn around. Now, if you've been around the DBD community for some time, you know that the Mori system has been altered rather heavily, and with another change yet to come. Each killer has their own unique and personalized way to end a survivor's life, and for today's video, we're going to be ranking all 24 Memento Moris from worst to best. Oh, I almost forgot. I know my videos typically include the "Hey, don't forget to subscribe" or "Come check me out on Twitch" segments, but seriously, click the sub button. I wanted to let you all know that I do have a merch store with some pretty cool designs in the theme of Dead by Daylight. We got my Ghost Patrick on a tombstone, talking to Ghostface, or staying cool during the summertime with some Thompson House tea. Of course, any purchase from the store goes directly in support of the channel and definitely helps out a lot, being that I'm a full-time creator. So if you want to check out the store for yourself, I'll leave a link down in the description. All right, enough of the plugs. Let's get into some Moris. Coming at the bottom of our list is going to be the Trapper. This Mori is as basic as it gets. Now, he is, of course, one of the original killers in the game, so, you know, there's that going for him. However, he's kind of just hitting him in the back with a machete over and over again. And on the survivor's perspective, you can't even see anything above his knees. All right. Coming in at 23 is the Wraith. Now, this Mori is very similar to the Trappers, however, there's a little bit more going on in the actual scene. The Wraith pulls the survivor closer to him by the leg. Now, on the survivor's perspective, we actually lose sight of the survivor, but we're able to see the majority of the Wraith and, of course, all the blood and guts coming from the survivor. 22, we got the Hillbilly. Now, I don't mean to shit on the original killers so much, but they do have the weakest Moris out of the entire bunch. Actually, this is the first killer on our list that wields a chainsaw. He kind of steps on the survivor's back, raises his chainsaw in the air, and then it cuts through their torso from the collarbone down. Pretty cool Mori, definitely the best of the original three. Number 21, the Nightmare. First licensed killer on our list so far. It is Freddy Krueger, however, Freddy Krueger's Mori is okay. Kind of stands behind the survivor pretty menacingly, sticks his hand through the back of their spine, and then that's kind of it. Very short Mori, though. Number 20, we got the Blight. Do not get me wrong, the Blight is a fantastic killer to play. However, I think his Mori was a little rushed. He injects the survivor with the Blight serum, and their sternum starts to implode with a big bubble, which he pops with his weapon. Very short Mori, though. Yeah, it's kind of it. Number 19, we got the Pig. Being that the Saw franchise is very big on traps, I would really like to see the Mori involved with some type of reverse bear trap or something like popping like that. This Mori does share two different perspectives and is the first to have some type of a shuffle between the survivor and the killer. Number 18, now we got the Doctor. This is actually one of the cooler Moris from some of the earlier killers in the game. As you know, Herman does practice in shock therapy. He goes and warms up his hands and then induces shock therapy right directly into the cranium of the survivor. Turns them over to see that they're completely fried to a crisp with smoke coming out of their eye sockets. Super cool Mori. Number 17, we got the Spirit. Rin phases behind the survivor and impales him with her katana. Then she makes a few more slashes into their body and belts out a taunting scream, which really highlights her rage for her father. Coming in at number 16, we got the Nurse. Now, this Mori is actually pretty intimate, as the Mori is done without any weapons whatsoever. The Nurse flips over the survivor using telekinesis and then strangles them to death. Once the survivor has died, the Nurse slowly closes their eyelids, almost feeling bad for having to kill them. This Mori is a tad on the longer side, however, it is very passionate. Pretty deep stuff. Number 15, we got the Shape. Michael Myers, released in the Halloween DLC back in 2016, has a pretty gruesome Mori. Picks the survivor up by the neck and stabs them twice right in the chest with his weapon. I think the most creepy thing about this entire Mori is the fact that Michael Myers is so emotionless. The survivor tries to fight back, hitting him on the shoulder and trying to push the knife away, but the Shape is just too strong. Definitely a classic. Number 14, we got the Cannibal. I think we're finally getting to the gruesome category of our list. Bubba deals a blow to the back of the survivor's head with his cattle hammer and then uses the chainsaw to cut directly into the center of the survivor and slowly cut vertically. If you listen closely from the survivor's perspective, you can hear how giddy Bubba is while doing this action. Staying true to the lore of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Pretty brutal stuff if you ask me. Moving on to lucky number 13, the Huntress. This is actually one of my favorite Moris in the entire game. Anna smashes the axe into the survivor's head so hard that it actually gets wedged into the bone, and she has to use her leg to push off the survivor to get the axe free, while still continuing to hum the lullaby. Number 12, we got the Plague. Vommy Mommy hits the survivor with her censer and begins a ritualistic prayer. Before projectile vomiting, the vial purges directly into the survivor's face. Pretty quick and to the point. Number 11, we got the Twins. 2 killers, 2 different Moris. If the Moris perform without Victor, Charlotte dishes out some blows using her blade. But I think the coolest version is with Victor conjoined to Charlotte. Victor looks up to his sister almost in a motherly fashion, asking if it's okay to attack. If you listen carefully during this animation, you can hear Charlotte giving Victor a go-ahead. Number 10, the Nemesis. Resident Evil is finally in Dead by Daylight, and this Mori definitely pays tribute to the franchise. The Nemesis grapples the survivor using his tentacle and smashes their face in with his massive boot. Now the Mori's pretty simple, however there is a tiny Easter egg. If the Mori is performed on Jill or Chris, the Nemesis will shout out STARS, as Jill and Chris are actual STARS members. Pretty cool. Number 9, the Executioner. Pyramid Head actually has 2 different Moris. During his primary Mori animation, he entwines a survivor with barbed wire and then impales them with his sword. Now for the first time ever in Dead by Daylight, the Pyramid Head has a way to Mori somebody without actually bringing a perk or an offering. If a survivor interacts with his Trails of Torment, Pyramid Head can perform Final Judgment, eliminating the survivor in quick succession. Moving on to number 8, the Legion. This is actually the first Mori animation where the survivor attempts to fight back. The survivor pushes the Legion away, but unfortunately is overpowered and is stabbed through the chest. Number 7, the Death Slinger. This Mori animation is pretty unique as it's the only Mori that is framed from the top looking down. The Slinger forks the survivor and lifts them up into the air using his Redeemer, to then fire his harpoon through the survivor's mouth. Yeah, it's pretty gross. Number 6, we got the Hag. This is an older Mori, however it is the only time we get to see what survivors are made of. The Hag rips out the survivor's liver and straight chows down. Ugh. Number 5, the Demogorgon. The Demo pounces and sticks his claws into the survivor, then begins to eat their entire head. One of the coolest things about this animation is hearing the muffled screams of the survivor while in the Demo's mouth. And that roar is pretty sick though too. Up next at number 4 is the Trickster. This Mori is fantastic. The Trickster peppers his victims with blades while contorting his body in a show-off type of manner, then finishes them off with an autographed photo of himself. During this animation, he says a few lines in Korean, which translates to "Here I go" and "Thank you." Down to the final 3, we got the Clown. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this Mori is pretty gross. The Clown stomps on the survivor's head and then cuts off their finger, and then proceeds to suck on it with his mouth. Oh god. In case you didn't know, the Clown has been collecting the fingers of his victims since his first kill, and that habit doesn't seem to be stopping anytime soon. Number 2 has gotta be the Oni. Not only is this killer extremely fun to play, but his Mori is brutal. He stabs a survivor through the chest with his sword, using it to prop the survivor in place, and then rips out their tongue, squishing it in his fist, and then bashes them to a pulp with his club. This Mori has a little bit of everything, and you cannot go wrong when performing this. Number 1. It's our favorite Spirit Halloween slasher, the Ghostface. This Mori is my absolute favorite. Not only is it gruesome, but you can have a lot of fun with it as well. Ghostface stabs a survivor in critical locations of the body and then pulls out an early 2000s digital camera for a selfie. It doesn't get any better than that. And the Ghostface is always down for group photos, so don't be shy. So that's all 24 Memento Moris, ranked from worst to best. Obviously with these kind of lists, they're based off of opinions, but hopefully I served these killers right. But I gotta know, what are your top favorite Moris? Let me know down in the comments so we can compare. I want to give a massive shout out to Artemis, Twiggy, Trixted, and Nicky Ricky for providing their survivors for all these Moris. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and make sure to click the bell icon so you're notified when a new video goes up. If you ever want to catch me live, I stream every Saturday through Wednesday starting at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. You can find me at twitch.tv/SpookyLoops. Big shout out to my patrons for going the extra mile, and don't forget to tell me if you picked up some merch. Would love to see what you got. I'll catch you all in the next one.